All right, all right, all right. Monday, August 24th, 2020. I'm not a mechanic, but should have that looked at probably. All right. It says, who thinks of this stuff? It says, I consumed fresh ginger every day for 1 week, and these were the results. Okay. It's kind of an interesting motorcycle. I don't know. It's like a low rider motorcycle. It's official, Daily Cost says. Donald Trump is now the Republican Party. RNC dumps platform in favor of him. Okay. It's so interesting because he was never a conservative. He was never a conservative, and now he's, Republican Party. It's really now the populist party. It's not really the Republican Party anymore. But that's the way it goes. 27 former Republican members of Congress announced they'll support Joe Biden over Trump. It's going to be close. It's going to be a very close election. We'll see. It's a very yellow truck. What? I don't understand this headline. There's a problem with being a workaholic. You don't know what's in the news. That's partly why I do this when I'm out here walking. How Donald Trump's plasma announcement was the opening ceremony of the RNC. CNN 20 minutes ago. Well, now I just have to read it to figure out what they're talking about. This is CNN.com. Politics is a game of timing, calculation, and appearances, and it's very, very rare that anything happens entirely by chance. The problem with doing this in the middle of the day is you have to be in the shade to read your phone. President of the United States held a news conference to tout, or toot? What's the word tout? A supposed breakthrough in treating COVID-19 the night before his nominating convention is set to open. It's not just by accident. Okay, I didn't watch the convention or listen to it, but now we know some sort of plasma deal or coronavirus related announcement of some kind. Well, now we know about it. Yeah, we're just going through the headlines, if there's anything interesting. This is sort of funny, or maybe not funny, but it's interesting. Very worrying coronavirus outbreak at popular nudist resort in France. I had some, was cooking for some people yesterday, and was explaining how you season a cast iron pan, and that you rub it down with vegetable shortening or vegetable oil, and then you bake it in the oven, the pan by itself. No food. You bake the pan in the oven for a good long time. I mean, you can do it 30 minutes, hours better. You can even go 2 hours. But what's happening is that the shortening will create a coating around the pan. It basically becomes like a polymer, and some people do it after every time they use the cast iron pan. That's probably not necessary. But this was met with total disbelief. Why you would have to do this. But, I didn't know anything about it until I got a cast iron pan. But it was just such an amazement and ridicule, to be honest. Why are you doing that? Why? And it's pretty much a basic treatment of a cast iron pan. I just thought it was funny that this was met with such amazement and disbelief. It just told me so much about how people believe things, and how belief is so strong in a person's makeup, including my own. I have a very strong fear of coronavirus, and it's probably much, but I admit it. I admit up front. That's why I take wide swaths when I walk around. I try to go way around people. And it's certainly it's paranoid, but it's like a belief that I have that you don't want to get it. On Facebook yesterday, I was reading some of my friends talking about their kids getting it, meaning their college-age kids getting it, who have lost all sense of taste. They're in college. They're college age. Have lost all sense of taste. So they didn't, go into the hospital. You know what I mean. They weren't put on ventilators, but they've lost all sense of taste. And they weren't. This was not an alarmist report. They were reporting what their kids told them. I'm not a mechanic, but I'd have that looked at. So I keep hearing these stories. I just don't. That's why I'm paranoid. This is why I'm paranoid, man. Lost all sense of taste. Like, people are like, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. And then I have good friends of mine reporting that their college-age kids are losing their sense of taste. And, I don't want that. They say, oh, it's like the flu. Yeah, I've had the flu. I lived in Canada where flu was a badge of honor. Okay? They're like, all right, you got the flu. We'll see you tomorrow. Go shovel the walk. the flu is considered normal every day. Yeah. Yeah. I never lost my sense of taste because of the flu. So, maybe I already have it. They don't even know. I tried to get tested. They said they'd email me, and I got an email like 3 months later, or 2 months. 2 months later, it said, "Okay, we're taking, for this 1 hour of time on Fridays, we're taking the first 100 people, but you have to be here for this one." I'm like, "Are you out of your minds? What are we doing?" And I'm not kidding. This is a real email I got. Oh man, what is happening? So since we're pretty much on our own, I'm taking ultra precautions on social distancing. Oh, but it doesn't affect the young. It doesn't affect the young. Oh, really? I know 8 people whose kids are reporting they don't have any taste. And I don't mean art. I mean regular food. Now we can laugh about it and say, well, that's college food for you. I mean, it was amazing how um, Notre Dame, for example, within, it had to be less than a week. They offered a hybrid in class option. It had to be less than a week. Now, I can't speak about Notre Dame specifically, but on what they did, but I just remember the cases spiked there, like a huge spike within a week. And I could be wrong, but I think they removed the in-class option almost right away. Um, but I could be wrong about Notre Dame, but I know a lot of colleges were immediately removing the in-class option. Immediately, like right within, not after a month, 2 months, within a week, spike in cases. You see that? They're really fascinated with people on their phones live streaming it. The car slowed down and stared at me. Hey, come on, it can't be that unusual here in Columbus. Come on. Why is that so unusual here? It gets the curiosity factor. Isn't this kind of a tech town? Isn't there kind of like a big, it's young, right? It's a young town. Don't they see the youths out there vlogging and stuff? I don't know. Especially around here. It's big. We're gonna walk up to Ohio State right now. Aren't there college kids out there vlogging and selfieing and live streaming? Should be pretty normalized, I guess, in my mind. But Every time I'm out here, the car slowed down. What is he doing? The other thing that's interesting is how comfortable I've become just talking in front of. Well, I guess it's partly because I've been on stage so long in my life, so many times, thousands of times, that I'm pretty comfortable talking to myself as I amongst a group of people. Or I'm just odd, or both. Let's go down this way. Sign says rentcollegepads.com. That's a great URL. Rentcollegepads.com. Which is kind of a funny URL, but do kids today say the word pads? It almost seems like a boomer coming up with that URL. Rent college pads, right? Is that the way that a modern college student would use that word? Got to think about these things, guys. This is the best marketing advice I can give you right now. This is one of the tenets or the basics of your marketing strategy. You should follow what I'm about to tell you right now. No matter what you're doing, no matter the product, no matter your organization, maybe you don't have a product, maybe you have a service, maybe you have a charity. Write this down. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, write this on your phone, write this on your tablet, your computer. Get one of those sticky notes on your computer and put this on the fridge. What you want to do is enter the conversation your customer is having in their mind. Look at me, I say I'm crossing the street because somebody's coming the other way. I told you, I'm not making this up. I'm paranoid. All right, write this down. Enter the conversation your customer is having in their mind. I'll say it again. In your marketing, you want to enter into the conversation your prospect or customer is having in their mind. I'm telling you, this will change the way you're doing things. See, it's hidden. They're hidden behind the car there. Can't do it. Sorry. No offense. I'm half kidding about that. Plenty of people walk past me, but I try as much as I can accentuate the social distance. Okay, so let's get back to it. So your customer has a conversation going on in their mind about themselves. And possibly about your product. But you want to understand, you want to try to understand what they're saying to themselves. Because it's not likely your product. They're thinking about their fears, their worries, their hopes, to a certain extent, their dreams and aspirations. So you want to know that. You want to know what's going on in their mind. So let's say your prospect is a somebody my age, a male. So I'll talk from my perspective because then I can speak a little more knowledgeably. Is a male, 60 years old. So let's just keep it that simple. So, well, okay, let's do a little bit more demographics. Their kids are grown and out of college and they're retirement age. So, okay, so the fears are that they won't have enough money when they finally retire. They're almost retired, but not quite. The fear is that they won't have enough money. So what is the conversation going on in their mind? It could be explicitly that, but let's extend it out. So my fear is I won't have enough money at retirement age. Therefore, what could happen? Well, I could end up eating, out of soup cans in a barely lit apartment under a bridge, a room in a downtrodden settlement house under a bridge that's built as part of the bridge. All right. So that's a fear. A hope is that I can save enough and invest correctly that my needs will be taken care of until my death at an old age where I fall asleep or I die in my sleep with no pain at the age of 93. So therefore, how am I going to have enough money to last all that time? So you literally want to repeat some of those fears and hopes in your advertising and in your marketing and in your content. You might even just, in fact, in your content marketing, you might want to just take those fears and answer them. Your headline could be, how will I have enough money to last the rest of my life? There you go. There's one. Here's another headline. These are articles you can write today. Um, how much will I need to save um, before I retire? How can I save enough before I retire? Will I be able to retire? When will I be? These are you could look. These are there's 5 articles right there. How are other people retiring? Is it too late to retire? That's another fear they have. Not me. I'm going to be a workaholic till I'm dead. But if you know me, like in other words, if you have a product that appeals to workaholics, and that is a real demographic, you would say um, how to maximize your work so that you're also covered in case you're incapacitated. So that's a fear of mine. It's not the work. It's not retirement money because I'm always going to work. I'm always going to have money. But what if I can't work? So let's say you sell insurance to people my age, right? See where I'm going? You can't just talk about yourself. The mistake people make is they talk about themselves. We've been in business since uh, they landed at Plymouth Rock. Our founders have a combined experience of 375 years in the business. None of that is going on in my mind right now. None of that. Um, we are authorized by the most strict industry associations. We have the highest quality products and services. Our customers rely on us for our none of the, see what I'm saying? None of that is going on in my mind. None of your prospects are walking around right now thinking about your company. But every marketer I talk to, everyone, all right, 98%, their current marketing consists of basically, we are great. Um, we have these great products. We have done this. We have done that. We. So here's the bad news. Yes, it's important to be trustworthy and all that and have quality products, but none of that is going through your customer's head. None of it about you. They're not thinking about you. Let me ask you this. How often have you thought about this today? How often have you thought about Goodyear tires? It's on my to-do list to think about Goodyear tires today. No, it's not. So even when they are in the prospect in the buying mode for your product, they're still not thinking about you. Not you. They're not thinking about you, right? They're thinking about their problem. So you have to attach your product to the conversation they're having in their mind and meet their fears, meet their thoughts. You you essentially want to burrow into their brain and attach your product to their fears and aspirations in their mind, to what they're thinking about. I'm not sure I'm explaining it exactly right, but if you just did that little shift, I'm telling you, you'd be ahead of 98% of the advertisers that exist in the world. And if you give it time, it's not like you know, hey, we got a sale on today, blah blah blah. It's not that. But if you can make that shift, you're going to be ahead of 98% of the people in the world, and ultimately, you're going to position yourself much better to your prospects. Because the thing is, they don't care about you. They don't care about your company. They don't care about your product. They don't care about anything about you. Why should they? Yes, every day I get up and think about tires. No, no, no one is doing that. No one is doing that. They want their family to be safe. They want the bell's ringing. There's no school. Um, they want good mileage. They want to be safe. They want to be able to stop in the rain. They right. But if you just talk about how you have 300 years of experience, that you're loved by, that your grandfather started the company, that um, you've got the Better Business Bureau grade A rating, that that you invented the Weeble-Fetzer 3500. You guys invented that, which revolutionized the industry. That you went to Harvard, that your sons went to Harvard, your daughters went to Harvard, the whole family went to Harvard, that your grandfather started the company. I think I mentioned that one. And not only that, your grandfather started the worldwide church of tires. That that your family in 1450, an ancestor was anointed by the Catholic Church as the patron saint of tires. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anything about any of that. Nothing, never, no. But again, and trust me, this is after 30 years of experience working with tire shops, from little tiny retailers to the biggest advertisers in the world. They all make this mistake at some time or another. Don't talk about yourself. Nobody cares. Think about it this way. Let's say you're at a party and there's somebody at the party and they're like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe our vacation was so wonderful. And my beautiful wife and I and our beautiful kids, we went to St. Moritz in Switzerland. How do you say it? St. Moritz? I don't know. And we were skiing the Alps. Oh, it was wonderful. You're like, oh my God, this guy's just talking about himself. I don't care about any of this. But otherwise, somebody comes in at the party, they're like, hey, how are you? Hey, good to see you. So what have you been up to? Oh, well, we've been doing this and that. Oh, that's great. Hey, aren't you training? Aren't you going for the local, I understand you're a golfer. Yeah. I heard you were going for the golfer for the city championship, that you're that good. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to try. See the difference? They're talking about you. They're talking about you. And that's what you care about, is you. I don't care who you are. And I don't care how great that you think about other people, that you care for other people. You've dedicated your life to helping the poor. In your mind, you also have fears and hopes and aspirations. A lot of fears of your own. And that's where you're going to sell tires. Especially if you're in your family tree, you have the patron saint of tires. known to Catholics worldwide as Saint Polymer. who lived in central Italy in the 1400s, and despite persecution from the wooden wheel people, the wooden wheel clan, the family of wooden wheels, your relative, the patron saint of tires, invented rubber by vulcanizing oatmeal. They're like, that is so dumb, it's funny. That is so dumb, it's funny. Oh, man. I gotta eat. In fact, let's just call that a live stream so I can have this granola bar. I'll talk to you.